when the narcissist loses all power. Think about that for a minute. The narcissist, they were in control of you, of the trajectory of your life, of your hopes, your aspirations, your goals, your dreams, of your 24 hours in a day. You see, the narcissist was controlling you because you, unbeknownst to yourself, you were caught up in a place called the devaluation stage. Maybe the narcissistic fog or the trauma bond. All three of those are unique to themselves, yet interchangeable. And yes, they all equal one word: narcissism and toxicity. Yeah, it's two words, but they go hand in hand. Way back when, you didn't know what narcissism was. You weren't taught this formally. You weren't educated on different types of human beings. What you thought the differences were between people probably were financial or economic statuses, or perhaps even the color of your skin or the language you speak. Well, that's just a little bit of what the reality of the mindset of toxicity is. Toxicity has two legs. It walks, it talks, it breathes just like you do. And it comes in all different shapes, sizes, language, ethnicities. Some of these toxic creatures are younger, some are medium-aged or middle-aged, some are older, but they all do one thing. They all abuse. They all do another thing. They manipulate. They all lie, steal, cheat, gaslight, triangulate, stonewall. They all want to disrupt people's energy. They all want to disturb people's energy. They all want to steal people's time, steal people's memories. They want people to come down with health challenges. And you may think, why would you say that? Well, I had multiple health challenges. And if you made it this far in the video, and I know it's early on, a minute 44, wink, wink, you probably had health challenges too. Maybe it was something smaller, something simple, like maybe you got a couple freckles or something. Maybe it was a little more serious. Maybe you lost some hair. Maybe you came down with a detached retina. Who knows what happened? But I can assure you, your health took a hit. Even if you haven't recognized that your health took a hit, it took a hit. And the reason why that is because once you're in the proximity of the narcissist, the energy is completely disrupted. They're stealing your energy. They're sleep depriving you. They're counter-parenting. They're not co-parenting. They are not taking you at face value. They're taking you for granted. And these are the games of the narcissist. And this is why the narcissist loses control. They lose power eventually over everybody. And you may say, well, wait, that's not true. The narcissists that I know, they have had built-in supply for 10, 20, 50, 70 years, and they're still in full control. That may be correct. However, think about something. This thing called life on this planet called Earth, it's nothing but a blip on the radar. Time, life, it goes by like that. 1 minute you're a year old, the next minute you are on your way out, no matter what age you are. So the narcissist may have had control for their life on this planet called Earth, but afterwards, they are going to be anywhere but in control. And where they're going, I won't speculate. What I do know is I don't wish ill will upon anybody. I never have, and I'm not going to start now. But when the narcissist loses power over you, or they lose their power, this is a great day for you. And the reason the narcissist will lose their power, it's not because the narcissist discarded you, or it's not because the narcissist isn't communicating with you, or maybe they blocked you. That's the last reason why they lost their power. They lost their power because you finally cracked the code. You found the needle in a haystack, and you understand, or you're learning about narcissism, about mindset, about energy, about purpose, about trajectory, about peace, about abundance, about authenticity. You didn't know about any of these things early on. What you were doing is you were on a hamster wheel of abuse, spinning around in an ocean of manipulation, in a washing machine of toxicity. And you kept going around and around and around, and you could never catch up to the narcissist, and you could never come up underneath the water to catch your breath, because as soon as you would do whatever they wanted you to do, you would be given another endless to-do list. Once that was accomplished, there comes another one and another one and another one. By now, you know what the narcissistic abusive cycle encompasses. It encompasses what is known as the love bomb stage. That's the first part. Second part's the devaluation stage. Third part is the ending of the relationship, and the fourth part is the discard. Remember, you need to get off the radar of the narcissist, or the fourth part, I apologize, is a hoover. Don't accept the hoover, become unhooverable. Remember, you need to get off the radar of the narcissist and become unhooverable, because they lost their power the minute you figured it out. Now, did it happen overnight? No. Did it happen in a week? Absolutely not. It happened each and every day you began to watch videos. Each and every day you began to journal. Each and every day you began to see a therapist who knows what they're talking about when it comes to narcissism, and not somebody who's watching videos, someone who actually lived it. And you began to figure out more and more as you were meditating, healing childhood wounds, and doing so much more. See, what you were doing when you were in the relationship is all of your energy was going out the window to fuel the narcissist. When you flip it and all that energy goes back into yourself, that's when you really, really begin to ascend and elevate. Again, many times, I would say virtually every time, people that are healing, and I was no different, we want the healing path to be over really quickly. There is no magic pill that can be consumed. There's definitely no magic wand that can be waved to have you heal. If that existed, believe me, I would have known about it years ago, and I would have given you the magic pill or the magic wand. It doesn't work that way. The healing path is a direct correlation to how much work you place within yourself. It's directly contingent upon how much work you place in yourself. This work must be done by you, for you, and to benefit you. Nobody can do the work for you. People may want to help you out and do it for you, but they can't. You may say, well, why can't they do it for me? The reason they can't is because they're not in your mind. They didn't experience what it's like to have an anniversary dinner be blown up in the middle of a restaurant. They don't know what it's like to be in a car going 100 miles an hour to a wedding or a destination and having someone scream in your right ear at the top of their lungs. They don't know what it's like to be living in a house with a person that you fell in love with who turns out to be toxic when they're giving you the silent treatment for weeks on end. They don't know what it's like when you open up your credit card bill and you find out there are new mystery charges of a couple grand on there that you did not place. And you know that if you say something, you will be punished. And if you don't say something, you're still being used, abused, and manipulated. What is that? That's called financial abuse. See, there is so much more to the onion to be peeled back. Once you peel one layer back, there are 8 or 9 more layers to be peeled back. Once you peel back one of those layers, there are 3 more. When you peel back one of those, there are 16 more, on and on and on. That's why you, just like myself, will be constantly elevating, ascending, growing, changing, and moving towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. When you get there, and that's where I am, you will stay there. The reason you will stay there is because you will realize it is so abundant. It is so peaceful. Listen to these birds. That's called Mother Nature, positivity, energy, beauty, abundance, connection, and growth. And notice how the birds jumped in right then when I started to talk? It's because we're all connected. All of us are connected. The main part of this video is to let you know that the narcissist had power over you, a lot of power over you. Way more power than one individual should have over any other individual. But that's what they do. That's what they did. And once they knew that they placed you in that trauma bond or the devaluation stage, or once you married them or went into business, whatever you did with them, they knew that you were now invested. Once you were invested, it was game, set, match, advantage narcissist until it wasn't. When it wasn't, and that's when you figured out what narcissism was, it was checkmate, you win. The narcissist now can do nothing to you. Now again, is it that easy? And of course it's not that easy. The healing path will take a lot of time. It will take a mountain of time. And remember, the healing path is not linear. Other YouTubers are beginning to pick up on that phrase. And I believe some of these other YouTubers may not have even gone through the cycle yet they claim they did. Good luck to you all. What I'm sharing is if you've been through the cycle, you can finish my sentence like that. If you haven't, you don't know what you're talking about, and you can try to copy content and mimic and do whatever you want to do. Truth of the matter is, energy always rises to the top. The empath becomes the educated empath. The person who lost control and who was now being controlled and was the power in their life was taken over by the narcissist now understands about mindset, toxicity, and energy. That person who put themselves back together, dusted themselves off by the bootstraps, rose through the ashes like a phoenix and healed properly, just like I did, is you. The stronger you get, the weaker the narcissist gets. The weaker the narcissist gets, the more clear your mind gets. The clearer your mind gets, the less they matter to you. The less they matter to you, the more you realize that they did have an awful lot of power or control or grip on or over you. You didn't know it because these relationships are akin to death by 1,000 paper cuts, and you should know what that is now. And they're also akin to being in a car with carbon monoxide. I know that example is not a really PC example. It's not good, but for considering I am somebody who almost didn't make it January 6, 2021, I get a mulligan. I can say whatever I want to because I know what it's like to be on the knife's edge of not existing. I know what it's like to have no control over myself. I know what it's like to have all the power that was once within me taken, stomped on, tried to be extinguished. But guess what? I rose up through those ashes and I healed. And now I pay videos or create videos to pay it forward to help out you and to help out those people who don't even know that they need help out those people who think that they're stronger than the narcissist, help those people who think that by not blocking them, they're doing the right thing. Eventually, everything falls into place. Eventually, everything clicks. And eventually, the narcissist will be relegated and forced to slither off elsewhere to other sources of supply, which are becoming weaker and weaker sources of supply as you get stronger. Remember, we are in an age of the fourth turning. We are in an age of the generational curse breakers. We are in the age of positive change. We're in the age of empathy. We are in the age of authenticity. We are in the age of transparency and abundance. The narcissist ran this planet right into the ground over the last couple thousand years, whatever you want to call it. And you could say, no, there's been spectacular and absolutely amazing discoveries. You would be right. But guess what? With all of those discoveries, such as, let's say, the car, the smartphone, clothes, the internet, other things, travel, airplanes and things. Well, also with those discoveries, what did you discover? You got it. Ding, ding, ding. You discovered one of the keys to the universe, one of the keys to humanity. Yes, you unlocked narcissism, just like I have. That's why once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Once you experience it, you're going to run away from it as far as you possibly can. And once you realize that that person had a lot of power over you, I mean, think about basic things, as in what time you went to bed, if you picked up the phone on the first ring or not, if you tolerated them walking 50 feet in front of you, if you tolerated them hanging up on you multiple times, if you knew they were wrong when they were gaslighting you and you bit your tongue because you didn't want to call them out because you knew biting your tongue would make it easier to let them win that small conversation rather than telling them the truth, and then they will give you the silent treatment for another week on end. You see, you knew what was going on way back when. You just didn't know that there were definitions to the experiences that you were having, and they were coupled all together with your experiences, the definitions, and they are defined in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. Example, what is gaslighting? What is mirroring, etc. When you learn those things and you couple those with your real life experience, then you realize that relationship wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It was 1,000 times worse. That's why you need to get away from these people as fast as you can and as far away as you possibly can, because the narcissist won't change, and they know that. They also know that they need power. Now, for the thumbnail, I could have used power, I could have used control, I could have used grip, I could have used whatever word I wanted to. I used power reluctantly because I don't want to give the narcissist any power. You see, they had power for so long. I debated myself on the thumbnail if I should use the word power. And you know what I said? Yeah, I can use the word power, because the truth of the matter is they did have power. The truth of the matter is they don't have power. The truth of the matter is they will never have it again, and they know that. See, the ship has sailed. The toxicity ship is shipwrecked. The ocean of toxicity manipulation, there are boats floating on that thing that are derelict everywhere, all on all the 7 seas of the ocean, every lake, every stream, every river, every pond, every body of water. All of these boats are derelict. Those boats are what the narcissist lives on. And they're looking for a fuel source, looking for someone to guide them, direct them to the next piece of land. Well, that's what you did. Guess what? You're out. You've gone no contact, just like myself. As you removed yourself as a potential fuel source, and remember, you are a beautiful, bright, shining light. You're not a fuel source, but as you removed yourself, and I've removed myself, and most of us are doing that these days. When I say most, I do mean most. I mean more and more people are reading energy, whether they've been through the cycle or not. If they've been through it and they've healed, then they're on my level. If they haven't, they're still observing other people changing around them who have been abused by the narcissist. They're saying, wait, I want nothing to do with that. I'm not going to fall into something like that. I'm having boundaries. And that's why the change is taking place from all generations. This is the positive shift. This is the fourth turning. This is inevitable. And you're a part of the wave. That's why you need to understand that, yeah, the reason I use power in the thumbnail is because the truth of the matter is the narcissist had power over you. They certainly have power over me. Right now, what do they have? Absolutely nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Zip. And guess what? The narcissists, plural, are slithering everywhere they can, looking, grasping, cannibalizing each other, looking for viable sources of supply. Pickings are slim. People are closing the hatches, battening them down, going no contact, and saying, thank you, but no thank you. Stay away from me. That was then. This is now. Just stay away from me. That's what I said to myself years ago. I brought it back up from videos a couple months ago. I'm saying it again to you. You need to realize this is your life. This is not a documentary. This is your life. It's not a sitcom. This is your life. It is not a mini-series. You need to take your life very seriously and cut out toxicity and to maintain your boundaries and understand, yeah, the narcissist did have power. Right now, they have nothing. Right now, they're almost shipwrecked in that ocean of manipulation. They're beached, if you will, and they're looking for somebody to drive that boat of misery and toxicity and abuse to a different port. They're not going to find one. That's why all of these people they all eventually become the aging narcissist, and they all fall apart at the seams. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Enjoy a couple things. Enjoy, number one, these sounds of Mother Nature and the birds. And number two, your peace, your freedom, your independence, and how far you have come. If it's early days on your journey of healing, continue to focus on yourself. Control what you can control. Stay in the present moment. Write down the pro-con list of the relationship. The pro are any good things that relationship served you for or that were benefits. And the con list, you may want to get a couple journals to write that con list down, but really understand the narcissist never loved you. They never cared about you. They care about nobody. They are sinking ships, ticking time bombs, and they're running out of supply, and they know it. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.